Hello viewers, this is Dr. P. Miriam Puma, yet with another topic from the food safety and food hygiene management. The topic is management of food hazards. We all are aware that food safety and hygiene management, it has become an emerging demand in the food industry, and it is of universal concern also because many of them, they are concerned about the various things that are added in the foods or for the preservation or storage or for the ripening and so on. Therefore, maintaining that food safety and hygiene, it is the prerequisite of anyone who is setting up a food industry, any food entrepreneur. To sustain in today's competition, they have to practice these food safety standards and hygiene also. We have International Organization for Standardization created ISO 22000 standard. This is mainly to manage the food safety and food security. It specifies all essential for food safety management system, and this food safety management system, it involves the following. The first one is interactive communication between the management and the personnel working over there. Then the systems management, then the prerequisite programs that are to be conducted before setting up an organization or before becoming an entrepreneur who sets up this food production unit. And one more thing is the HACCP principles. HACCP stands for Hygiene Analysis and Critical Control Points. The food safety management system, it is mainly to identify, evaluate, and also control the various food hazards at various levels of the food supply chain. It can be right from procuring the ingredients or the raw materials to food preparation to packaging, storage, transportation, etc. Why we have to maintain this food hygiene, or why we are talking about food safety? This is mainly to reduce the risk of all those foodborne illnesses which we are seeing today. These are caused by various biological hazards, which include pathogenic bacteria, viruses, or even parasites, or chemical hazards, or even the natural toxins. So we have food safety guidelines. If they are not followed, the people may fall sick and it can even lead to death. So if the food is not properly stored, or if it is not properly handled, not properly cooked, or proper refrigeration, if it is not done, then the bacteria, they'll grow, leading to food contamination and thereby the illnesses. We also hear about this product recall, which is done by the seller. The seller, at times, if they discover that their product is defective or their product hasn't met the safety standards, or there is some danger for the consumer, or it may put the seller himself under risk for legal action, in such situations, this seller, they'll go for this product recall. Hence, what they do is they have to comply with the food safety guidelines. In doing so, they'll maintain the quality of the food as well as the shelf life of the food products will be increased. So, effective food safety management system is the one that follows all the 7 principles of HACCP, and this can help business to identify and control various types of hazards that can threaten the foodborne illnesses or that can lead to foodborne illnesses. And here, in doing so, the companies will obviously see the safety of the customers, and of course consumer satisfaction matters them a lot. Let us see what are the 7 principles of HACCP. The first one is hazard analysis. Hazard analysis is a preventive approach to food safety, and here it involves identification of biological, chemical, and physical hazards. Second one is critical control point CCP. These are applied at the stages of processing of the food, and this is done to eliminate or even to reduce the hazards so that they remain in the acceptable or critical levels. Next one is critical limits. The safety limits that determine the maximum and minimum value for each of the CCP. Say for example, if you talk about microbial contamination, around 1 to 5 Escherichia coli per say 10 ml of the suspension, maybe it is okay. So 1 is the minimum and 5 is the maximum value. This is just an example. I'm not saying it's mandatory. So that is what is the limit. Minimum is 1 and 5 is maximum. So that is how they set the minimum and the maximum levels for each of the critical control points. Next one is monitoring. This again includes observation and measurement or assessment whether the critical control points are being met. So we have to take the samples and test them and then see if they are in the CCP limits. After monitoring comes the corrective action. So these are the actions that are to be taken if there is any deviation in the CCPs. If the limits have exceeded, then definitely they have to eliminate the sample or do something with it. Next one is verification. This is to determine that food safety management plan is properly being implemented and all the hazards were identified. So that is what is verification, which they do, pre-verification. Next one is record keeping and documentation. So whatever tests they are doing at all point of time, complete records, all the forms, they are to be carefully monitored, they are to be carefully kept and filed. And at appropriate time intervals, they have to keep on checking the values or the CCP values if they are met or not, and then they have to document it. This is the food safety policy. They have to be on par with the food safety policy. Thank you.